Hey everyone, so I'm somewhere where you don't normally see me, and that is at ground level. So I am actually between our house and the neighbor's house. And what I'm doing today is planting up 4 pots that are gonna go on our front gate, and they're going to be floating using one of my favorite plant inventions. So I don't do a lot of planting down here because, again, even though we do have like ground, it's mostly cement. As you can see, there is the parkway up front. We do the gate that I'm going to put some pots on. I have pots on my front stairs, and then there's a little area of dirt at the front where we have a hydrangea bush and some boxwoods that were here before us. So I do put some pots up front, but the majority of my time spent gardening is up on the rooftop decks. But I did want to take you along with me today just to show you, because I think the inventions themselves are really cool. I'm gonna plant up some pots because this is a probably part shade, if we're gonna be honest, environment, but it gets 3 hours, maybe 4 at the most, of like the intense afternoon heat. And then it goes back to shade because the sun comes from behind the house, and then there's trees in the parkway that block it as it goes further that direction. So I'm gonna plant up 4 pots, all with the same plants that are either good for shade or part shade. I think one might be part sun, but we're gonna go with that anyway. And then the plant invention I'm using, I've shown this actually at least twice before, if not more. So I followed an Instagram account called Plant Traps. That's the company name. And at the time, this is maybe 3 or 4 years ago, at the time they had an invention that was called the plant trap. I'll put in a picture of it, but it doesn't really work for what I need it for. But basically the whole idea is to make planting spots available where there weren't planting spots before. So to put things on balcony decks or railings where you couldn't previously put plants. So she has the plant traps. And then I think it was just early last year, she made another invention called Railscapes, which has gone viral. And this is what it looks like. I know it doesn't look like much, but basically there's tension built into this holder. You push it through the 2 sides of a railing, and then you have your plant in place. So I used these last year on our front gate, and then this fall I did a stairwell houseplant makeover. I will put in a video here showing you the railscapes that I'm using on our staircase, and those are still there. They stay there throughout the entire year. So I love this for both inside and outside. And again, you can put plants in places where you couldn't put plants before, and I absolutely love that. So if you do have, like, let's just say a balcony garden with a railing, a deck garden with a railing, you can use these to put plants suspended out of those railings. Now, a question I get asked a lot is, what do you do with watering? Well, if you don't want water to either fall in your house or onto people walking by, you just put a saucer on the bottom and then you put the pot on top. I do think the weight limit is 15 pounds, I believe. I will link all of the information on the website down below to make sure that this does work for your needs. So I am using plastic pots that I just got on Amazon that are black. They're right back there to fit in with the color of the Railscapes. And I'm not doing anything that's like too heavy of a plant. So I'm just putting in 3 annuals. They will get big, but hopefully not more than the 15 pounds. I used these same pots here last year with, what did I plant in them last year? I'll see if I can find a picture. I must have a picture somewhere. But I think I did maybe 3 or 4 plants in each then as well, and they worked really great, and they stayed up. I don't do a saucer out here because I just water them and it falls onto our little front pathway, so no need to use a saucer under it. But now, let me show you the plants that I am going to use. All right, this is a little bit better, squatting instead of sitting down, but I have 3 plants here, and I'm gonna do the same planting in all 4 pots. So we have 4 sections of our gate, so it makes sense to do 4 of the railscape. So first, I'm gonna do this in the back. This is the Proven Winners Rockapokal Apple Blossom Impatient, and it gets, well, it's part shade to shade, so that's perfect, and it gets 10 to 20 inches tall. And look at how pretty those blooms are. Similar to my back deck, I do have a color scheme of like purple, white, pink, and orange here. So I'm kind of sticking to that with the flowers, but so that's the only flowering plant I'm gonna put in there. Then I'm gonna do 2 sweet potato vines next to each other in front. I'm really hoping that these all grow and weave together and it'll be really pretty. So I'm gonna use the Proven Accents Sweet Caroline Sweetheart Jet Black. It is really pretty. It is very deep. I don't know if it's going to be as deep so they've been on the deck, which is full sun. I don't know if they'll retain this deep of a color in part shade or if they'll get a little bit more purpley, but that's fine with me either way. Then I have the Proven Accents Sweet Caroline Sweetheart Lime, and I actually only have 3 of these left because I don't plan before I order plants. I just go for it and then figure out where I'm going to put them. But we are going to the Chicago Botanic Garden this weekend, and anytime we go there, we stop at Chalet Nursery, which is nearby, and they do carry proven winners, and they usually have a pretty good selection. So I'm hoping I can find another one of these. I also need another Supertunia Vista bubblegum, even though I got some from proven winners and got some myself. I need just one more of those. So those are on my list for this weekend, and then I'll pop it into the container as well. But those are going to be the 3. So look something like this. Those are going to be the 3 plants. And I'm actually wondering, yeah, these say 6 to 16 inches. So I am hoping that the Impatient can keep up with how much the sweet potato vines are going to grow. So we'll see how this works in the end. But what I'm going to do now is get the 4 pots planted up, and then I will show you how the Railscapes work on the front gate. We'll get the pots in the Railscapes, and that'll be it. Another reason why I like to put a bunch of plants out there is that our garden walk, people can only see the front of our house, so they don't even know that I have the rooftop deck. So I like to put as much in front as possible without making it look too overwhelming. Since this pot already has soil in it, I'm going to plant this one up first. I forgot if I mentioned, but I just found these on Amazon. Chose plastic so that they are lighter weight and don't add as much to the weight limit as if I was using like a ceramic or terracotta pot. And then I think I just measured like the diameter of one of these and found a pot that fits. But I will link all that down below in case you do want to get pots that will fit into the Railscapes. So let's get you planted. And I'm going to leave the tags in at least one of the pots so I remember what they are. And then I think when I'm looking at it, not that it really matters, but do I want, try and envision it in my head. I think I want the darker color on the left in the front. Actually, let me see. I'll look in the camera here. Do I like that? Do I like that? These are the tough life choices that I make. I think I like that better, so I'm going to go with that setup. Now, is this following any sort of spacing recommendations? Absolutely not. Do I normally follow the spacing recommendations? Absolutely not. There is one pot. I actually just realized I need to grab the slow release fertilizer and sprinkle that in and then add a little bit more soil to the top. All right, we'll sprinkle some in between the plants. I do fertilize these as well. I just forget about these more than my garden up top. So it's good to have slow release fertilizer in there too. All right, that's one pot down, so I'm going to move this to the side. I will water them in when I have each of them planted. Let's get these tags in. And now we're just going to get the other 3 planted up in the exact same way. So I need to make sure I put the sweet potato vines in the right order, and then I still need to get the one in just a couple days. Railscapes, you put one around one railing and then you squeeze to get it around the second. Now let's see if I like this height. I think that's good. I need to see from the front. I think I like it. I think I like the height they're at. This is the one that I still need to put the other sweet potato vine in, but the goal will be to have the two sweet potato vines trailing outside of the gate so that when people start walking on the sidewalk, they're like, oh my goodness, what are those plants? At least that's what I have in my head. Now, if we come around inside, do they make the pathway up front smaller? Yes, but am I choosing form over function? Also yes. So if we don't usually use this very often, or if I do, I'm fine like just moving to the side and around these. If we ever have like people that need to get back there for any reason, I will take these down, which is why I was thinking of maybe doing a vining plant, but decided against it because I do want to be able to move these, or not a vining, but a climbing plant up the gate. That's what these look like. I'm really happy. We'll also give you an update on these front pots. It's maybe been a month or a little bit under a month, I think, since I planted these up, and these are filling out for sure, and all of these are set up on drip, which is really nice. None of these are, so I do have to remember to come out and water these. I would say pots this size in like part shade, and maybe watering every like third to fourth day, so not super often. One more look from the front. Yeah, I'm excited to see how these all grow in. So that is everything for this video. It's been nice talking to you from ground level, although I'm pretty sure we'll be up on the rooftop deck for the next video and probably for the videos after that. But I will definitely keep you updated on how these grow, fill in, if I do get the other sweet potato vine, all of that. So I'll show you how these grow throughout the season. And again, for our garden walk, this is what people are going to see. So I'm excited. I hope that these plants just bring some people joy as they're walking by. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll link all the information about Railscapes, which, by the way, this is not sponsored. I just absolutely love that product so much. But I will link all their information down below in case you have a setup similar or something that you think you could hang plants on using that. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.